Oh, I can hear me. All right. See, if Johnny Rios, if you're on here, you're the reason I check that every now and then because it was always, I'll be sitting in here doing it, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, why do I keep having something flash? And that's you trying to let me know you can't hear squat all. All right. Welcome to the wake. Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in real quick. It's Easter. I didn't get a chance to do the wake Friday or yesterday. Been busy. Easter, trying to get a lot of things going on. Got the family coming over, right? We're going to have a really nice spring equinox celebration today. You know what I mean? We got the ham on, right? Helga's up there cooking like crazy in the kitchen. And with the bad leg, all I am is in her way. I'm in her way all the time anyway, but that's beside the point. But, so, what'd you guys think of Deep Space? It's not my favorite movie, let's put it that way, right? And be honest with you, right? It reminded me of a TV movie, right? And the TV movie, the way those movies were done back in the 80s and 90s it was direct to video, right? A movie made for like the network, okay, or direct to video. And I believe this was direct to video because I do not ever remember seeing, and I'm the king of drive-ins, right? Do not ever remember this being out in the movie theater, right? And trust me, I like watching those bad movies, as you know, right? And make a living out of it here, right? But, you know, wasn't the best, right? It was pretty good. It was serviceable. It was funny, right? You know, it just didn't seem to have like, a lot going for it. You know what I mean? Like, I joke, right? Ron Glass, right, and Julie Newmar, right? I mean, Julie Newmar, the hottest of the hot, that were on the Batman, right? Even though Lee Merriweather was very good looking as Catwoman in the Batman 66 movie before they had the series out, okay? If you ever get a chance to watch Batman 66, the movie, right, it's totally like mocking the show. It's makes fun of the whole genre. It's great. And Svengoolie shows it every now and then. Now, when he shows it now, because he's on the 2.5 hours, right, he gets the whole movie in, right? But when he used to show it when he was only 2 hours, he had to cut a lot out because that was a made-for-TV movie, just like the Munsters, right? Welcome Home Munsters or something, right? Where they go back to England and they try to steal their money, all that crap. That was made as a TV movie, and they cut a lot of that out to be able to fit it into Svengoolie's 2 hours, right? Now, luckily on our show, right, John gives us the extra time that we want, right? If we want to, like, if we go along with our bits or the movie happens to be long. Like, we had a movie about a month ago. I forget which one it was. But the movie was 1 hour, 18 minutes, right? Right? Now, our show's 2 hours, right? So that doesn't, oh my goodness. I can't get the knee straight under here. And it hurts like heck. That's why I'm having a Lake Erie Monster triple IPA to start the day. But, the heck was I talking about? Oh, but I have lost my train of thought. That's how bad my knee hurt. Anyway, so, when the movie was 118 minutes, right? A couple weeks ago. So we only did like 20 minutes worth of bits, but we still spilled over, for another half hour. And that's without any real commercials. Granted, we do have a lot of public service announcements that get put on there, right? But that's us without any commercials, right? If you guys have seen, we're doing a big push to get ad space on the station, right? Because what we want to do is we want to, one, try to get better quality movies. There are a couple of different movies that the doc and I have been interested in getting, right? Sports, right? To get the rights to the sports teams, that costs money, right? We almost did get the Boulders this year, but John worked out a deal where we could show them, right? We only have a limit. I think we have like 6 Boulders games, and I forget the name of the other team that we have. Oh, goodness. Why is this so off? There we go. So we have 2 baseball teams this summer. We have the Stockade, the hockey team, right, or the soccer team. We have we have an indoor football team, and then we also have the public safety league, right? And yesterday, the Blazers, right? That's what we have. The Bravest, right? Played a team. I think they were from Philly, and we had them on the station, and I caught the end of it. What a great game! Oh my God! And those guys, they're just playing for pride. You know what I mean? And they're playing for pride in a championship. And they, and it's funny. I just found a guy that I used to work with, and he's with a fire company, more towards the city, and he was advertising it, and they were on a bunch of other stations also, right? So I sent him like, hey, when it's on, watch our station. And he's like, why would I do that? It's on all the other stations. Well, if you watch our station, right, it helps us out, me, everybody on the station, right? Gets more people to know, okay? So, again, now we're looking to get ads, right? I said better ads we get, the better entertainment we get, okay? And, to be able to get, the talent we have. Now, granted, the doc and I, right, and we do this to Passion Project, right? We don't get paid for this, right? We're hoping that when we get syndicated, something might happen, right? But we don't know, So that's why we're hoping for the ad space, be able to, get other talent just besides us, right? And to get more sports and other shows. I mean, there's a lot of shows. I know John is chomping at the bit that he would love to get, right? But they're just a little bit too expensive, right? And we're paying out to get the stuff, but we're not getting anything back in with ad revenue. Hence the big ad revenue thing. So if you see it out there, right? If you it's $50. $50, you could be on 4 times a day for 6 months. Like, you can't beat that, I was thinking of doing one myself just to do a goofy ass commercial, right? To run 4 times a day, right? That would be great, But like it's and getting back to Deep Space, right? Deep Space was just a bad movie, like I said, I gave it a 3. I thought it was entertaining. If it was on, I would have it on in the background, right? It's one of those movies that, like, if I was scanning around and I'm doing stuff around the house, I would have it on in the background doing stuff. Not something I'm going to sit and give my full attention to, because there's not a lot to give attention to. It's just like off the wall. I mean, come on. Like, he's trying to impress, right, the cop by putting on his kilt and, going with the bagpipe. Like, sorry. As much as I love Helga, that would be the last thing that, if I pulled out a bagpipe, like, I would be with another woman today. Let's put it that way. That was like one of the stupidest, hokiest scenes, And then at the end, right? I mean, the alien kind of looked like the alien from Aliens with the crest piece on their head and all that stuff. And I just thought, like, talk about trying to rip another movie off, And then, like I said, and Julie Newmar, like, they had it like, say, hey, Julie, right? $500. You owe me a favor, but $500, right? You come in, right? You'll get an IMDb credit for it. Come in, and she had 5 lines, right? 5 lines. 3 scenes, 5 lines. They probably find, and I'd jump at it, right? And like all the other movies that he had after that, all the bikini movies, the guy that's a director, right? All these bikini movies. Like, Robert Mitchum was in a couple of those, And I brought that up on the air about a month ago. We were talking about like actors will do, they just keep working. They're making the money, right? You're going to pay me to be in there. I'll come in here. And like Robert Mitchum, king of action movies, king of westerns, right? He was in war movies a couple times, right? Tough guy, right? And he's in Bikini. I'm almost positive it was Bikini Car Wash, right? And then I shared and I joined the director's page, right, on the Cemetery Cinema Facebook page. And this morning they ran a trailer for Bikini Frankenstein. Now, you guys know that Frankenhooker kind of caused some things between John, and me, right? I, personally, right, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was actually kind of funny. I've seen the movie several times, right? John the boss didn't like it because he thought it was too graphic. John the doc didn't like it because, there's sex in it and he's worried about his brand. I get all that, right? But where I'm coming from, if we're showing a movie where they're ripping people's entrails out and blood and gore and all that, right? Is that any more for your brand than sex is? But anyway, when I watched the Bikini Frankenstein, talk about hokey, right? That would definitely be like a Rhonda Up All Night, Joe Bob Briggs, right? Friday night or Saturday Night Dead that used to be on in Philly, right? An after midnight movie, that would be great, So maybe we can get Cemetery Cinema After Dark, right? And I could host it and have, God, it was Bikini Dracula, and then it was something. It was like an Indiana Jones ripoff, like Diane Jones and the Crypt of, Crypt of Bordellos. I don't know. I forget the name movie, but it was again that this guy who directed the movie, one of his bikini movies that he made, and he must have made $1 million because they were on all the time on Cinemax, USA Today, and Showtime. And if you're from Delco, right? Delco, home of the Mad Darbarian, right? In Clifton, there was a movie theater called the Family Drive-In, right? It was right in the middle of the neighborhood, right? And they had the Darby Creek goes around it, and then we had the Upper Darby Sharon Hill trolley line, right? Go by up top, and it's actually a trestle, so it's up here, right? And you drive by. Well, before they closed, right? The family movie was not, drive-ins were not in vogue, right? And at the time, and the thing is, they were oversaturated. Every town had a drive-in, and then all of a sudden, no towns had drive-ins, except for towns that are out, where their land isn't as developed. Because in our area, drive-ins became car dealerships, Kmart's, right? And the family drive-in, right, became a Kmart. Well, anyway, the family drive-in used to show these movies, right? And, it was how can you hide when you have a screen that's 60 by 40 feet, yards, whatever it happens to be, right? And you're showing a naked girl's top, right? You're talking everybody in the neighborhood's going to see it, okay? And what people used to do, I didn't, would go up to the trestle track, right? Go up there and hang out and watch the movie from up there, right? Cops didn't appreciate it. Thank God we were faster than them. I mean, the people that did it were faster than them, not me.
Sorry, could you say that again?
No.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Good, I wasn't talking to you. I feel like Dick Tracy with this watch sometimes. So anyway, right? So, Deep Space, not the best movie. Funny, entertaining. I was trying to do a Giorgio Tsoukalos thing, right? And what happened was, I just got my hair cut. Before I had my hair cut, right, when my hair would dry, right, it would stick straight up in the air. And I thought I had a Giorgio look. when I came down here, right, and I was trying to do it, it didn't reflect well on the camera, so that's why I wore the headband, trying to push it up. Now, the way he talks and all that, that was spot on. Because he just rambles on and just throws out names of things that you're like, huh? What? Puma? Like Puma Puku is like his favorite phrase, right? It's a place where they had UFOs, you know, and an ancient civilization, right? And it just breaks me up that I was trying to like do it like him. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast doing it, right? And it was, you know, it was kind of hard because just getting down here into the studio is kind of tough. Now, you notice, like, I'm down in the lair, right? I'm not in the studio, right? Because I had to do and it was funny, life of me, right? I got asked to do a podcast, right? So I thought it had to do with this, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing another podcast in a couple weeks, this horror show podcast. But the thing is, right, this podcast I thought was along the same lines. So I get on there and I got my horns on and I'm like, hey, greetings, welcome to blah, 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 right? And I got two guys that are looking like, who the hell are you, right? It was not a podcast. It was this company who does like advertising, right? And what they do is what gets you on the podcast, then they're trying to sell you their services, right? And I didn't know that. And they thought I was trying to promote like a business, right? I don't know how they got my name for that. I came on, and they're like, no, but we're here. You were trying to promote your business? I'm like, no, I wasn't trying to promote a business. And after like an hour, right, I wasted an hour talking to these guys, and it was just ridiculous. So hence, that's why I got I'm in the lair, not in the studio. Right? So what do we got coming up? Next week, what do we got? We're back on Thursday, right? And we got, Toxic Zombies. Now, Toxic Zombies is about these guys had a weed farm, and the government's like trying to kill the weed farm. So what they sprayed the weeds with the stuff, right? And that doesn't kill you; it makes you a zombie, right? And our running gag through the whole thing is I brought a plate of brownies, but it was the plate of brownies my son made and not my wife, right? So they were tick brownies, right? THC brownies, marijuana brownies, right? Frowny brownies, as we used to call them, right? And through the whole thing, right, we're doing a bit, right? And I was, I've indulged before in my life. The doc, he did not, right? So I'm trying to like make all these high jokes, right? And I don't think the doc got a lot of them, which was fine. But just goes to show how innocent and great of a guy he is, as opposed to working like a schlub like me, you know. And it was fun. It was fun. We did a lot of good high jokes we threw in there, you know. But so, and then we have a ton coming up. I don't have everything in front of me because I'm not on that PC. Yeah, like I said, and I got my relatives coming over. My wife's relatives on Helga's side come over for Easter dinner, and for us, right, there's only gonna be 6 people. But for us, like we used to have these not extravagant, but like 10, 15 people, right? We had Thanksgiving one year where we had like my family, right, which is me, my sisters, their kids, right? My sister from Sweden was over, and then my cousin Maria, who lived around the corner from me for a while, right, came and then brought her sister and their family, right? So we literally had like 20-some people in the house. And we had such a good time. And it was pouring rain out, right? And I fry my turkeys. It's pouring rain out. I got the pavilion up, and I'm frying the turkey in the pavilion, right? And when you're frying it, the steam just comes up and sits in the pavilion. Well, I put the pavilion away, right? And then about a month later, I took it out for a family event. and it still smelled like it smelled like turkey, and it was fried. It was the best smell in the world. But it was just funny that it hung in the tarp for like a month, right, in the shed. But oh my goodness! All right. Well, guys, I'll talk to you guys next week on Cemetery Cinema. We are on Thursday night. Then after that, John, the boss, said we're going to be back on Friday nights coming up. All right? So I'll talk to you guys later. Guys, have a fantastic Easter, right? Take time, spend time with your family, talk to them. Don't be sitting on this the whole time, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, you could do that. You could do that on the toilet. You can't sit and talk to your family. Well, if you had a weird family, you could. But no, right? You're there with your family. Talk to them. You might learn something, right? I always try to spill out some knowledge to the youngins at the party, which is probably why they're all sitting on their phones trying, oh, I got a text. I got to talk to them. All right, Mad Darbarian, OUT, the Mad Darbarian for Cemetery Cinema on WON-TV, Brooklyn. I'm out. See ya. And don't forget, right, keep it creepy, and we'll be talking to you later. Aloha.